Golden Gate Audubon Society presents
Doing Our Part to Clean Up San Francisco Bay
with your guide, Jeremiah and his friends.
Hey friends, welcome to this beautiful place. This is where we live, y'all. This amazing place. You can see the marshlands right here. Over there you can see some birds. Often in the bay, sometimes you can find some seals and whatnot. Coming out here today on this amazing and beautiful morning really reminds me of how much I appreciate and love this place that we get to call home. Whoa, check this out. There's tons of trash here. Tons of trash left by us. You got a juice box, a juice bag, some rings from a soda can, cups from fast food restaurants, got a bottle cap. I know this is in every lunchroom, the vitamin D milk. Here we have a classic bag of chips. This is all things that you can find commonly in your lunch bag or in your house. These are everyday items that we probably don't think about too much. Something like the bottle cap. And when you toss those out and don't think about it, where do they end up? Right here. So the question is, how did this trash get here? And then the second question is, what do we need to do about it? So last summer, I came out here with my friends and some of their families so that we could learn about the animals that live here and their families and see what we can do to help them.
That was so cool. Did it move? Oh, no. Where did it go?
Oh, he's moving.
You would touch that crab?
I would. This is a wild crab.
This is a wild crab right here. Man, look at his claws. I want you to meet my friends, Marissa and Anthony from Golden Gate Audubon, here to teach us something about this ecosystem that we're all a part of.
Does anyone know where we are? Do you know where Oakland is? Yes, we are actually, you can almost see that little green point. We are in this little arm connected to the bigger bay. This is San Francisco, this is the bay, and this is the ocean. So the bay connects to the ocean. The bay is shaped like something, it's shaped like a mermaid. Here's her head, here's her nose, her forehead, her body and tail, and this is her long hair flowing out behind her, right? We have all these creeks that when it rains bring water down into the bay. Can anyone find a creek right now? There's one right there,
When you look around the Bay Area, what you're really looking at is one big system that connects the land to the bay through the water. This is our watershed. But the water flowing downhill through our streets can cause a very big problem if we're not mindful of our own trash. So what happens is rainwater falls on the mountain and that creates creeks. The rainwater also passes through the streets. So any trash that you have in the streets then will get picked up by the rainwater and flow into the storm drains. Now, nobody cleans the storm drain water. So let's say you throw a cap or a juice box out into the street. That's picked up by the rain, goes into the storm drain, and it leaks out into the bay, then leaking out into the ocean. So in effect, rainwater carries the trash from the streets into the bay, as well as out into the ocean. And what that leaves us with is a grand mess. Like right here. It's honestly disgusting. So, why does this matter? Why does this matter? Well, my friends, we're not the only ones living in the bay. Now, me and my friends would like to introduce you to a couple of the other natural inhabitants of the Bay Area, starting with one of my favorites, the egret. And the cool thing about egrets, they're great predators. They will be around here in the marsh areas and they will be hunting for small fish, and due to their adapted feet, they'll be shifting through the mud looking for their prey. Actually, in this spot right here, we have two different types of egrets. We have the snow egret, which is smaller compared to its cousin, the gray egret. I've seen egrets all over the place. Downtown Oakland, near the lake, in parking lots, randomly walking around. They'll nest in cities and really populated areas, but as much as they are out in the city, their natural habitat is actually this here marsh and marshlands like these. They have lived here for thousands of years. A little bit of history behind the egret is that they were actually almost hunted to the brink of extinction. At one point, for their beautiful feathers, they were actually being hunted to be used as hats. Thanks to a small group of individuals that were actually completely comprised of women, it's now illegal to hunt the egrets. The fact that we still have them now is kind of a lesson that humans, as belligerent and I guess clumsy and arrogant as we can be, we can also learn from our mistakes. So we are cool people.
I've lived here all my life. We've been kind of raised to think about the environment and how we act around it. We want to make sure that we take care of this place because it's where we live.
Another cool bird that lives out here in the marsh is the osprey, otherwise known as the Seahawk, which is the favorite bird of my friend Brooklyn.
One of the coolest things about the osprey is that when it plunges into the water and it picks up its fish, it can turn one of its talons so that it can hold the fish like this instead of like this. So when it flies, a bunch of wind doesn't get in the way. About 60 years ago, ospreys started disappearing from all of their environments. But scientists found out that there's this pesticide called DDT that was really affecting the osprey. The pesticide was used to kill insects in agriculture, and the pesticide would run off into streams, and then the osprey would eat the fish. The osprey started dying out, but eventually DDT was eliminated and made illegal. Now we have more osprey coming to the bay, which I think is a great sign that we are doing a better job taking care of our bay and making sure that we don't release any pollution into it and doing our best to keep it clean.
There are now over 40 osprey nests around the bay. Sometimes they can be found in some pretty odd places, like near a massive ship or on top of a crane. But the osprey isn't safe yet. It still can be hurt from our trash and things like fishing lines that we just leave lying around.
What can happen sometimes when they go fishing, they can get their claw trapped in fishing line. They can get all tangled up and get wrapped around their necks and their wings, and then they can't do anything else.
How short is this leash?
Right here in our home, Oakland, California, a young osprey got tangled up in some string and fishing line that made its way back to the bird's nest. Lucky for this bird, the Oakland firefighters noticed the struggle, came through and rescued it, took it to the wildlife hospital, cleaned out the nest to keep it safe, and brought the osprey back so it could continue fishing and live a healthy life in its natural habitat. But it's not only the birds that need a healthy bay, as my friend Julian will tell you.
Growing up in Oakland, I didn't really have that much experience with the water. And the first time I went out to the San Francisco beaches, out to the tide pools, out to kind of see all the animals that live in our bay, I was so excited to see what we have here. We have these amazing creatures called harbor seals. Harbor seals are one of the only marine mammals that still live and breed within the San Francisco Bay. They don't have strong front flippers, so what they have to do is they have their strong, powerful back flippers to kind of maneuver in the water and help them kind of haul out and wiggle onto the land. They hit their flippers on their side to communicate with other seals. We actually need to protect these guys and the rest of the animals in the San Francisco Bay from the plastics and other trash that can go into their environment. The plastics that can turn up into little bits that they might think is food and eat, and it's really bad for their stomachs. Our environments are connected. Anything that happens out on the streets eventually drains out into the rivers and into the bay, into their homes.
A bottle cap, more plastic, an ice cream cup, a yogurt packet, some styrofoam. So now we know how this trash gets into these habitats, as well as how it affects and hurts the animals that live here. So back to the earlier question. What can we do and what can you do about it?
For our equipment, we have the trash picker-uppers, and we have gloves, and we have bags. So kids, place the garbage into the bags that the grown-ups will have.
First off, go outside. Go pick up some trash. You can go pick up some trash. It makes a difference. You remember the conversation earlier about the storm drains, right? Now remind your friends and family that any trash that goes into the street can go down those storm drains, out into the bay, into the ocean, and hurt the animals that live there.
You guys can all pick up trash. You guys can tell your friends to pick up trash, tell your parents to pick up trash, and if you see trash on the ground, find a trash can or just stick it in your pocket, or you can give it to your mom or dad, which is always the easiest thing. They're kind of the human trash can. Don't tell them I said that.
So even the little pieces count. Any kind of little piece you see that's white or blue, red, green. Oh my goodness, garbage jackpot over here.
Found this. Wow.
Look what he found. What is that called? That is fishing line. Fishing line?
Fishing line?
Oh, wow. Should that be out here in nature?
No, it can't be here.
What could happen to an animal if they find that?
They can choke on it.
You just saved an animal right there. That was awesome.
How many of you like to go fishing with your families? Here's one simple thing you can do to help out the animals around the bay.
If you guys find fishing line or you're going fishing, your line breaks and you want to throw it away safely, there's lots of monofilament containers around areas where people fish, and it's super easy to go and put those fishing lines in the container so that it doesn't harm any birds or other animals.
I was so passionate about the environment that I actually went and got a degree in environmental science, just from seeing the impact we have on the environment around us, on the sea animals around us, and how little we need to change our behaviors to influence a better and healthy environment for the animals around us.
You guys are like the #1 way that we can do our best to make sure that we keep this place clean. And I think you guys have a huge voice and can stick together and make sure that we keep the bay beautiful.
Well, this has been a great day out here by the bay. I think I've learned a lot, and now I'm ready to do my part to keep this place safe and clean for the animals that live here as well as for us. So, whenever you get the chance, come and help me.
Volunteer and help clean.
Pick up trash.
If you find a piece of trash, throw it away in a garbage can.
If you don't see a garbage can, you can put your trash in your pocket or your backpack.
Reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Say no thank you if a store offers you a plastic bag. Bring your own reusable bag when you go shopping. Try not to buy things in plastic packaging.
Recycle metal, glass, paper, and plastic. You can use reusable water bottles.
Take care of your fishing line properly.
Can kids make a difference for the environment?
Yes!
Didn't anybody tell that Osprey not to drop trash in the bay?